Hey, and welcome to today's conversation. I'm your host, Deidre Sirianni. And today I'm going to keep this nice and short, but also very specific. If there is somebody that you are looking up to and you're like, oh, I want that thing, but you don't have that thing yet. Maybe it's a specific place that you want to live. Maybe it's a career. Maybe it's success. This conversation is for you. And it's just a little reminder and kick in the ass that you can have whatever it is that you truly desire. But the only real difference between you and that person that's on stages or has what it is that you truly want is just a series of decisions that they've made that you have not yet made. So today I was hosting my master class or 3 hour workshop, I should say, specifically on speaking to make an impact. And I shared three very well-known people, Mel Robbins, Tony Robbins, and Jay Shetty. And the whole conversation today was around making a bigger impact, getting on stages, getting on podcasts, and really blowing up people's brands and really getting out there, stepping into thought leadership, which is what I help people do. And I looked around at everyone at the workshop and I said, what are these people's names? And, of course, everyone knew who all three of them were. And why did they know who all three of them were? Because these three people went all in on their dreams and they weren't just famous or thought leaders overnight. They chose to invest in themselves. They chose to go all in on their dreams and they chose themselves. And what I mean by they chose themselves is they decided at one point, I am going to put myself out there in a big way. I'm going to learn how to get visible. I'm going to learn how to tell stories. And I am going to learn this whole business and thought leadership thing so that I can make a bigger impact in the world. So I looked around and I said, what is the difference between you and these three people? The only difference between you and these three people is they made a decision, they made a choice to go all in on their vision, and they made a choice to invest in learning and getting the right support and being consistent and showing up for their dreams and their goals and their vision time and time again. That's really all what it's about, my friend. It's just about choosing what it is that you want, deciding, declaring it, and then backing yourself fully. And backing yourself fully is saying, yeah, I'm going to go after that. And I'm going to go after that even when it's hard. And I'm going to continue to choose the dream no matter what. And I'm going to put my money where my dreams are and bet on myself winning. So the question that I have for you today is, where are you eliminating yourself from the dream that's inside of you? Where are you selling yourself short and saying, oh, this person can have it because XYZ, but I can't? This is a lie that you have been telling yourself, and every single thing that you desire in this life is based on you deciding it, you declaring it, and then going all in after it and finding the right support to get you to where you want to go. And this can be in so many different areas. This can be with your health. This can be with wealth. This can be with thought leadership. This can be with impact. This can be with so many different things. It's about choosing it. It's about deciding it's already done and then doing the necessary work, even when doubt comes in, even when fear comes in, and choosing faith and action anyways. And I know for me, if I think about like my TEDx, if you were to tell the younger version of myself, maybe 5 years before I did that, that you're going to do a TEDx someday, I probably would have been like, yeah, that sounds like something I would want to do. Or if I didn't know about it, I might be like, huh, not really sure. But as soon as I knew what a TEDx was, maybe like 8 years ago or 7 years ago. And I decided that that's what I was going to do and that's what I was going to create and that I had a story to tell. Within 6 months, I landed a TEDx. So things happen quickly when you decide what you want, you declare it, and you go all in on it, and you take the necessary actions. That's the only thing that decides your success in an area of your life or result in an area of your life and everyone else. So who are you idolizing? Who can you take off a pedestal and who can you hire or learn from in order to have what it is that you want? I remember, and I don't know if I've shared this on the podcast before, but I was at one of Lori Harder's events back about a year ago in Phoenix, and I was at one of her events, and I just hosted a women's summit, the Awakening Her Summit. And I went to her event and I was like, I've just really admired her, more of like from the side. I've noticed her grow and expand over the last 10 years. And I've really admired how she's shown up. And so I'm at her event, and she has about 60 people in the room. And I had about 60 people in the room at my event the month prior. And I thought about just what she's doing in the world and the impact that she's had and the name that she's built for herself. And I asked myself the very question, what is she doing that I have not done or I have not mastered? And that thing for me was a consistent podcast. I've had a podcast before. I've had a podcast twice before. I started my very first podcast like 8 years ago, and it was called Human Unleashed. I did it for a year, and then I stopped doing it just because I didn't have a long-term vision with it. And then I had another podcast for about a year, and then I kind of was like, yeah, you know what? I feel complete with it. And what Lori had that I didn't have at that time was she had a long-term vision and commitment with her podcast. And because of that, she has reached millions of people through her show, right? So her commitment to her show has helped build her brand. And I'm sure there are other things that she's done as well. She's also been in business and is, a good 10 years, 11 years older than me. So she has over a decade of experience more than me. But I sat there in that chair in her audience and I thought, what is the difference between her and I? And I'm like, oh, she started the podcast and she kept going. And if I started my podcast 8 years ago and I just kept going, if I was aware of the vision and I knew what I wanted to do with it, it's very possible I may have or probably would have millions of people listening, right? So you got to start someday, and you can either start tomorrow or someday, or you can make it day one and choose the discipline and the actions that you want to take. And it's just so easy for us as humans to, count ourselves out of what it is that we truly want, disqualify ourselves. Oh, I have kids. I have this challenge. I have this health challenge. I have this thing in my reality. I don't have time. I'm busy. I have a loved one that's sick. I was bullied when I was younger. I don't know what your excuse is, but isn't it time for you to lay your excuses down and really get clear on what it is that you want and start consciously creating a life and business that you want? Because this is your life right here, right now. This is it. And now is the time to start creating what it is that you want consciously. And the question I have for you today is, where are you disqualifying yourself from your dreams? Where are you telling yourself you can't have what you want? And what is it that you need to decide and declare is for you and go all the way in on? For me, it was a podcast. I'm like, I'm dedicated to building a community of hundreds and thousands and millions of people. And I'm going to be consistent with this podcast, even if I don't feel like it, even if I'm not motivated. I'm going to continue to show up, and I'm going to continue to offer value week after week. And so I'm curious, what is that thing for you? What is the person that you have that you think of that has what you want? What are they doing that you are not doing? And how can you double down on that thing? I hope that today's conversation has been helpful. If it has been, please leave a review. That would mean so much to me. Every single review helps with this show getting in front of more people. And my mission is really to support you in awakening to the truest essence of who you are and making the impact that you're here to make on the world. And the more people that are listening to the show, the more we can make that impact together. And if you are someone who is an entrepreneur, or you have a message inside of you or a product that you really want to get out there in a bigger way and make a big impact in the world with your gifts, I want to invite you to check out my Speak, Impact, and Scale 6-month mentorship program. We're opening up the doors as of October, again, for our next cohort. And this program is all about getting you ready to be on stages, to be on podcasts, to get on TEDx, to share your story, and to really transform people's lives in a big way, and also scale your impact-driven business. If you want more information on that, it's in the show notes, and you can always shoot me a message from the page if you have any questions at all. I'm so excited to be opening up this container. We had an incredible 3-hour workshop about it today, and people from the program this last round were sharing their stories, and people had their jaws dropped open in awe of the magic that has been happening in the container. So if you are someone who wants to get on stage, if you are someone who wants to grow your brand and make a bigger global impact this year in 2025 and beyond, then I invite you to click the link below in the show notes on the Speak, Impact, and Scale. And I would love to invite you to jump on a call and see if this program is the right fit for you. Again, life is now, do the thing. Ask yourself the question, what is it that I need to do to get to where I want to go? And when you decide, when you declare, and you take massive inspired action, your life can change in a very short amount of time. Big love.